This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
Precisely 1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. News edited by Ramesh Piris and read by Sharifa Tahir. Headlines. The responsibility of managing provincial expenses assigned to the governors by the President. Dates fixed to debate the 2022 appropriation bill. The ordinary postal rates to be increased with effect from the 15th of August. The Director General of Health Services confirmed the country's death toll from the pandemic to 16,603 thus far. The Sapugaskanda refinery to commence operations on the 15th of August. The grand Randoli procession of the Temple of the Tooth Relic in Kandy to parade the streets tonight. Special trains deployed for the occasion. In international news, China says the US is the main instigator of the war in Ukraine. Sports. Aussie cricketers donate prize money to Sri Lanka appeal. Local news in detail. The responsibility of maintaining the provincial administration and development process, as well as managing the expenses of the provincial council, has been assigned to the governors by President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The President's media division stated that the President has informed that the governors should maintain coordination with all the MPs and the President's office in the development work of the provinces. The President's media division further states that all provincial governors have been notified in writing by the President's Secretary Saman Ekanaka of the instructions given by the President to the governors. The dates have been determined for the debate on the amended appropriation bill for 2022 that was tabled in Parliament on Tuesday. The Committee on Parliamentary Business said the debate will be worked off on the 30th and the 31st of August and on the 1st and 2nd of September between 9:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. Meanwhile, an adjournment debate on the electricity tariffs will be held on the 29th of August between 9:30 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. on the request of the opposition. The Director General of Health Services confirmed 6 new coronavirus-related deaths for August 9. This brings the country's death toll from the pandemic to 16,603. The Department of Government Information said 227 more people tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday, as the tally of COVID-19 cases detected in the country thus far is 667,385. Power and Energy Minister Kanchana Vijayasekara said a ship carrying crude oil will arrive in Sri Lanka on August 13th and the operations at the Sapugaskanda refinery will be resumed from the 15th. Minister Vijayasekara said due to the refinery being out of operation, kerosene supply to the industries was strictly limited, but steps have been taken to implement the process of providing kerosene continuously from August 19th after restarting the refinery on the 15th of August. Meanwhile, Power and Energy Minister said issues regarding the fuel distribution, suggestions and new additions were discussed at the online progress review meeting held on Tuesday on the National Fuel Pass QR system. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation giving you the news.
People's Bank Online Corporate Banking. Imagine business anywhere.
Continuing with more stories here at home, the Grand Randoli Perahara of the Temple of the Tooth Relic in Kandy will parade the streets today. The Asala Perahara took to the streets on the 2nd of August. The Randoli Perahara paraded the streets of Kandy from the 7th of August. Following the Randoli procession, the Asala festivities will conclude tomorrow following the day procession. The Kumbal Perahara paraded the streets for 5 days till the 6th of August, while the Randoli Perahara paraded the streets of Kandy for 5 days. The sacred tooth relic will be taken to the Asgiriya Gedige Viharaya following the grand Randoli procession. Moreover, congestion was reported at the Fort railway station this morning, and Sri Lanka Railways said that it deployed 2 special trains for the general public to head to Kandy to witness the final Randoli Perahara that will parade the streets tonight. Deputy General Manager of Sri Lanka Railways, Gamini Seneviratna, said one train will leave Fort to Kandy at 2:30 p.m. while the other left Colombo at 10 a.m. Meanwhile, the Asala festival in Devi Nuwara Sri Vishnu Devala is now being held. It would end after the Randoli procession that commenced on the 5th of August with the traditional Peli processions. The festival would end on the 20th of August after performing a week-long traditional rites and rituals in praise of the god. Veteran broadcaster Harold Fernando passed away on Tuesday at the age of 86. A long-serving stalwart of the SLBC, he is a product of the Mazanat College, Kandana. Harold rendered his devoted service to the English service of the SLBC until his untimely passing away. He leaves his wife Regina and 4 children. For paying last respects, his remains lie at Mahinda Funeral Parlour, Vattala. The cottage leaves residence on Friday, the 12th of August at 3:30 p.m. Burial at St. Mary's Church Cemetery, Marbola, Vattala. The cottage leaves on Friday, the 12th of August at 3:30 p.m. Burial at St. Mary's Church Cemetery, Marbola, Vattala. That's local news for the moment.
Imagine if you could maintain a firm hold of your operations from anywhere. People's Bank Online Corporate Banking. Imagine business anywhere.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Ordinary postal rates will be increased with effect from the 15th of August, according to the Gazette notification issued by the Minister of Mass Media. The normal letter postage charge will be increased from 15 rupees to 50 rupees. Meanwhile, the registered postage, which currently has a minimum price of 45 rupees, will be increased to 110 rupees. Following the amendments to the Post Office Ordinance, the normal letter business mail, parcel post and bulk mail charges will be increased. Earlier this month, the foreign postage rates were also increased. The price revision was the first since January 2018.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
The Department of Railways is prepared to run an intercity super luxury train between Colombo and Badula every Saturday from the coming weekend. The journey to Badula, which is considered as one of the most scenic train journeys in the world, is a top tourist attraction in the country. Accordingly, the new super luxury train Allo Odyssey will leave Colombo Fort at 5:30 a.m. every Saturday and is scheduled to reach Badula at 3:55 p.m. Every Sunday, the train will leave Badula at 9:50 a.m. and reach Colombo at 7:20 p.m. During the journey, the train will stop at interesting sightseeing spots including St. Clair's Falls, Great Western Railway Station, Ergin Falls, Pattipula Summit Level, Idalgashina Railway Station, Demodara Nainak Bridge and Demodara Bridge and Tunnel.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
And on world news headlines, China says the US is the main instigator of the war in Ukraine. Parasite-style floods to be banned after deaths in Seoul floods. Broadway show The Kite Runner first to adopt mask-only nights. World news in detail. The Chinese ambassador to Moscow has called the United States the main instigator of the war in Ukraine and accused Washington of seeking to crush Russia. Ambassador Zhang Hanhui said the U.S. backed Russia into a corner with repeated expansions of the NATO defense alliance and support for forces seeking to align Ukraine with the European Union rather than Moscow. The ambassador's reasoning closely followed one of Russia's own justification for its invasion of Ukraine, which has resulted in thousands of deaths. South Korea's capital Seoul will move to phase out semi-basement flats after 2 women and a teenager died during flooding earlier this week. The tiny flats featured in the Oscar-winning film Parasite are usually rented out to people on low incomes. Seoul will no longer give out permits to construct such homes from this week on and will gradually convert existing apartments. This comes after the city was hit by the heaviest rains in 80 years. As of Wednesday, at least 11 people were confirmed dead or missing as a result of the floods, which have gone on for 3 days. Finally, on world news, The Kite Runner has become the first show on Broadway to require audiences to wear masks at certain performances. The move is particularly notable as the show's weekly mask-only evening will be on Fridays, one of the most popular nights in New York's theatre district. Fans who are disabled or have other health vulnerabilities have long called for theatres to host mask-only nights, but the major theatres in London's West End have yet to introduce such a scheme. That's on world news. And moving on to development news. Housing and Construction Minister Prasanna Ranatunga says housing schemes which are carried out using Indian assistance in the south and in the north is expected to be expedited following an order from. Some 24 houses projects are being carried out in Hambantota and one in Matara. In addition, 26 more projects will be implemented in Hambantota. Total number of houses that are to be constructed in the south are 1,200, while construction work on 465 houses have already begun. A sum of 600 million rupees is to be received from India for these projects. In addition, 6 housing projects in Mannar, 4 in Jaffna, Kilinochchi, 4 and 6 in Mullaitivu. Total number of projects that are being carried out in the north is said to be 24.
Sports News is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
In cricket, Australia's men's cricketers have donated their prize money from the recent tour of Sri Lanka to support children and families impacted by the nation's worst economic crisis in decades. Led by Captain Pat Cummins, who is a UNICEF Australia ambassador, and Aaron Finch, the team will donate 45,000 Australian dollars to the organization's Sri Lanka appeal.
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Project for Human Resource Development Scholarship was initiated in the year 2010, supporting the capacity development of young officials of the government of Sri Lanka by providing diverse opportunities to study at reputed Japanese universities. A grant agreement was concluded for an amount of 282 million Japanese yen between the Secretary to Ministry of Finance and Chief Representative to JICA recently at the Ministry of Finance. The agreement will further allow in accepting 17 officials to master's and doctoral degree courses starting from 2023 to the study areas of public administration, economics, disaster management and business administration.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSB globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSB Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Economic news. The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka said there will be no scheduled power cuts today and on Sunday. However, the PUCSL had approved 1 hour power cut for Friday, the 12th and Saturday, the 13th of August. Accordingly, the areas that come under A to L and P to W will experience 1 hour power cut from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
Another weather update. The Department of Meteorology predicts showers in the western and Sabaragamo provinces and in Golmatara, Kandy and Orelia districts today. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere. The Met Department said strong winds above 50 kilometers per hour can also be expected at times over the western slopes of the Central Hills, northern and north central provinces and in the Hambantota and Trincomalee districts. That's on the weather update. And before we wind up this bulletin of news, back to the headlines. The responsibility of managing provincial expenses assigned to the governors by the President. Dates fixed to debate the 2022 appropriation bill. The ordinary postal rates to be increased with effect from the 15th of August. The Director General of Health Services confirmed the country's death toll from the pandemic to 16,603 thus far. The Sapugaskanda refinery to commence operations on the 15th of August. The Grand Randoli procession of the Temple of the Tooth Relic in Kandy to parade the streets tonight. Special trains deployed for the occasion. International news. China says the US is the main instigator of the war in Ukraine. Sports. Aussie cricketers donate prize money to Sri Lanka appeal. And with that, we conclude this bulletin of news.